T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I'm Jim Page.
And I'm John Curtis.
And
we're two nerds in a garage. I think I started twitching.
I'm just going to tell you guys right now. Good morning, nerds.
Morning,
Hello, nerds
nerds.
around the world.
Ooh, you're soft,
It's
smooth.
47 degrees outside, and John is in shorts with no socks on.
It's fine.
When he has no feet later, you'll know why. Good morning, nerds.
Yo.
Welcome, Jason, Dave, Summer, Maria, all here already. Wow.
Wow.
Jason says, I heard this is the place you go to buy GameStop stock.
Yeah.
You've come to the right place. We
Really?
got the goods.
I would have loved to have some GameStop stock. GameStop stock. Say that 5 times. Fast.
Maria says, it's not always my brother's fault. Jason, I'll fight you. I'm not sure if she's having a argument with
Are you
her
writing out your
husband,
conversation with us?
But it is always John's fault. And if Jason
Yeah.
agrees with me, then he's always right as well.
Levi, hello.
Hello, Levi. Summer says, John dresses like Andy. That's her husband. And
He dresses well.
Dave says, should we cancel them for being late? Ha, ha.
Oh,
Ooh.
he knows what this topic's going to be
Yeah.
today.
Well, you want to know why we're late? First of all, we were trying to be very fancy and let you guys in to join us for the cancel culture talk. We make no promises it's going to work, but we're going to try it.
Mhm.
And also, John was on his phone and did not push the button, and I had to push buttons, and then
I
it
would
was
have
all a
done it.
mess. Yeah. Yeah.
Just going to have some coffee from my
Good morning, Christina
Celtic
Avina.
Storm design.
Also, happy birthday,
Happy
Christina Avina.
birthday.
It's a couple days ago, but
Yeah.
she's my eldest, and she is now 27. That's like she's closer to 30. Means I must be closer to 50. I don't know how that works. I feel like she's actually getting older, and I'm kind of staying the same. It's fine.
Oh, you're like Matthew McConaughey.
That's how it
in
works.
Fast Times at
That's how it works.
She keeps getting older, and I wait. How's that go?
Okay, on today's episode, you are going to find out the ultimate 1984 movie.
Ooh, learn what your theme song is.
We're gonna find out, has Wanda Vision finally started?
I think so. And as we mentioned before, cancel culture. Is it the hero or the villain of the universe?
Yep. Well, babe, you want to tell them who that ultimate 1984 nerd don't winner was?
Drum roll, please.
Don't you have the drum roll over here?
Wait.
No, you don't. You have that.
So it came down to 2 movies. It was Ghostbusters and Beverly Hills Cop.
Can't even remember the other movie. That tells you how much the one movie won.
The Ghostbuster votes just rolled in. And yeah, we had mentioned last week that we wanted to have like maybe Karate Kid go up against it, but the integrity of the Nerd Dome must be maintained.
And he also watched what did
Never
you watch?
Ending
Never Ending
Story.
Story last night, and he said that it should have won the whole thing.
I
think it's just
love
not
it.
wearing socks is making his brain crazy.
Man, it was so good. It's on HBO Max, FYI.
I see a question from Dave about what is cancel culture. We will tell you when we
Oh,
get
yeah.
there, I promise. But first off, nerds, here's something I want you guys to all look up. I want you to Google what was the number 1 song the day you turned 12. So I would say number 1 song, 1976, September 22nd. And that's going to be your theme song for your life. So I want to hear what everybody's theme song is. Do you want to hear what my theme song is?
Please.
You're going to think it's pretty funny. It's Don't Worry. Be happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that could not be more perfect. So perfect. What am I Googling? Number 1 song, June 24th,
1975 for you.
Wait, I thought you said when I was 12.
Oh, when you're 12. Sorry. Yeah. I'm
So,
sorry. I
okay.
said 1976. I meant when
87.
you were 12. So mine was 1976 plus 12 years.
Okay.
I don't like mine.
What is yours, Harley?
Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
You don't think so?
Oh, that's great. Come on.
What is yours?
I want to dance with somebody.
No.
Somebody who loves me.
That's literally the number one song on your birthday? That's a huge hit.
Oh, thank you. I want to dance with somebody who loves me.
I'm sorry, I don't dance.
Is it our birthday or when we're 12?
When you're
the
12.
day you were
So
the
add-
day you turned 12.
So 2014.
May 5th.
Oh, so that might not have been her song.
2014. Right? Weren't you born in 2002?
Summer says, nope, you're asking for people's ages here. Summer,
Oh.
you look like
Oh.
you're younger than I am. So, woman, what is the song when you were 12? What is it?
The one when I was 12 is Uptown Funk. The one when my birthday, See You Again by Wiz Khalifa. It's been a long day.
I don't know this song. Sing more.
Stupid.
Two nerds in a karaoke
This
show.
is what happens when you're born later. You know, she'd probably been happy if she had like an 80s song when she was 12.
Is Wiz Khalifa short for Wizard Khalifa?
I don't know. Maria Barton's got one. She says, right here waiting by you for Richard Marx.
She loves that song.
That's her theme song. That's pretty sad. She's just always right there waiting. Or is it like just saying how much she cares for people?
yeah.
She's always right there waiting for
It's
you.
not like right here waiting.
Like
It's right here waiting. It's
that means she's so lovely.
yeah.
Estella Melcher, Mama is Heartbreak Hotel by Elvis.
Ooh.
I don't know how that somehow fits, Mom. That's kind of sad.
Oh no, it's a great song.
What do we got? Good morning, Aunt Debbie. She's there with us too. What was your song? Going back a little bit while everybody get their songs up, Kate says, I'm proud of us. Ghostbusters is the best movie of the year.
Hello, Jay. What's Jay say about my
Jay
Jay?
says, hi, all. Yeah, hell yes, Zelda shirt.
Thank you, sir.
And who do we got? Dave Hoffman, Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. That is so fitting for Dave.
Why?
Because he's always trying to be a better person. He always
Oh.
trying to make other people's lives better.
He's a Hufflepuff.
He is a Hufflepuff. I love that song for you. I do that in like a what's her face from Schitt's Creek? Wow, brain fart. Sister. What sister's name?
Ew,
Schitt's
David.
Creek.
Alexis?
Alexis, thank you. Alexis, not Alexa, shut up. Yeah. I like do that as her, but like I like that for you, David.
I like that for you.
It's great. Jason Smith minus wind beneath my wings. Sigh.
Yeah.
Well, Jason Smith, you're the wind beneath our wings.
Wait,
every
who-
week you keep us flying.
Ooh, oh, wow, that's better than
You
anything
like
I
that
could have said
song
about you,
better
Jason.
now?
Who's our resident fact checker when both Dave and Jason are on with us?
Well, Dave Hoffman is always a resident fact checker.
Okay.
Jason is more of our resident keep us in line.
Yeah.
Don't.
Can you guys fact check?
I like the one that was number 1 when I was born. Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake.
Oh my God.
I win.
Yeah, why is it not the day you were born be your theme song? Why is it gonna be when you're 12?
I don't know. You
I
brought
guess
it
'cause You're
up.
coming into. I didn't make it up.
Mr. Brian Cooper's with us.
Good morning, Brian. Okay, we have Christina Avina says hers is Honey by Bobby Goldsboro. I don't even know what that is. What that would have had to
Honey.
be early 2000s.
Honey.
You making some stuff up now?
dun. Made by bees. Dun,
Jay-
dun, dun, dun.
Jay's is Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Oh,
Brian Coops. Hey, Coop. Look Away by Chicago. Okay, I guess.
a lot of
such a-
disappointed
That's
nerds
a
right
very
now.
like sad, like
Well, is it what? It's wind beneath my wings.
well, he's always the hero. Or if it's a scene song, is somebody else always his hero?
I don't know. Sing the song.
Grandpa Dave, Runaway by Del Shannon. I don't know that. Do I know that song?
Run away right now.
We're
I have no
we're
idea.
just
I'm making that
things
up.
now.
Okay.
Honey was grandma's. I'm very confused on what's happening. We're gonna move on, but if you guys have more songs that you find them out,
Mhm.
I want to know your theme songs.
The Wanda Vision.
Did everybody catch up?
please, spoilers ahead.
We have to spoil
Episode 4.
because I will say if you stop watching after episode 3, like I wanted to, you'll
You've
have
been
missed
sorely disappointed.
that WandaVision has finally started.
I was so pleasantly surprised to see, what's her name? Kat
Dennings
Kat
back in
Dennings.
her role from Thor.
Man.
And the guy who was with her, the other funny guy, he was in one of the Marvel movies, but I don't remember.
Yeah. Resident fact checkers.
I know, please, Dave Hoffman, you probably know everybody. You get to give us his names. And then, so I can now talk about what I liked about episode 3, but I
Okay.
didn't want to spoil last week if people
Right.
weren't caught up. The one thing I liked about it was that it was kind of interesting to, you'll never see superheroes in normal things. Like, what is it for a superhero to have a baby, to give birth?
Yeah.
Like her body was sped up. She got pregnant faster. It still hurt like a mofo. Like, why didn't she use superpowers to make it stop hurting? Like, there was some interesting things there. But episode 4.
Oh, Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Which Marvel
Producer.
movie was he in? Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thank you, resident fact checker
Yes.
Dave Hoffman. He was great in that episode yesterday too, in episode
Yeah.
4.
He's pretty solid, and I mean that's why he's got his own show.
Mhm.
What's his show again?
Jimmy Woo show?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Resident fact checkers.
Episode 4. Back to that
Yeah.
really quick. So, if you haven't watched, close your ears, just la 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 for like 2 seconds, because I really love that we're finally. I already kind of knew what was happening
Obviously,
from
but-
episode 1. Spoil at the end of the tag, this kind of spoiler
yeah,
tag,
yeah.
right? But it's better than what I thought.
Fresh off the boat.
Thank
Fresh off
you.
the boat. I gotta say, I couldn't get into that show, so I don't know about that. You didn't even watch that show, so I don't know why you're saying it's a good show.
It's a great show. I never saw it.
Wow.
Okay.
Show's wonderful.
So yeah, episode 4, it's moving in the right direction. I'm loving everything about it.
Mhm.
But to piggyback on what you were talking about with regard to like superheroes and everyday life, I think they should have a show that grounds them, so to speak, not from
Yeah.
the fling.
Yeah,
You know,
but not in like a comedic way, like in like a what's that movie with Will Smith?
well, I want to know when every single superhero needs to take a pee. They can't be always fighting crime, flying in the
Yeah,
air.
do they ever have to go like, I can't finish this fight, I gotta go take a pee?
Do you think Superman
Stop. hitting the table.
absolutely loves watching Friends episodes?
Well, that was also one of the great things about episode 4, WandaVision, where Kat is just like all into the drama of the show.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I thought it was lovely. Christina Vina says, I like how they show people coming back from end times. I agree. I thought that was really interesting to see that even though we got all of our loved people back, people were still disappearing
Oh, yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
So like it was like, oh great, we have our people back. Screw you people who had to leave the
Mhm.
earth. And it's very sad, to think about you've been zapped off the earth for 3 years. It was a minute for
5.
you. I thought it was 3 years.
5 years.
She said she was gone for 3 years. Do you remember Avengers, how long people were gone when they came back? Resident fact checker will definitely. Hancock, thank you, Dave Hoffman. Is that Hancock was the Will Smith one where it's like everyday superhero. This is just how he is.
Oh yeah.
But I think you want even more realism.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, he's. Yeah. Go ahead.
Anyway, it was sad to be like, I'm just left. My mom was here and now she's dead. Like that's, I don't know. For me, yesterday's show was so real and grounded, and I loved it.
It's fantastic because from here we're gonna get everything in terms of answers. Like everything's just gonna start rolling.
5 years.
It was 5 years. So why was she gone 3 years? I wasn't saying you were wrong. I said she said she was gone 3 years.
Maybe she aged 3 years.
Very confused.
Because in Spider-Man, when Ned comes back, there was like this whole thing about how it's like, oh, my younger brother's now my older brother.
Yeah.
It's so
So they
confusing.
aged.
Also, I won't spoil this, but I would like to just start nerds thinking about it because I want to have a conversation later because I know where I stand. And there are spoilers because there was an end scene of Avengers that did not get aired. It got scrapped. Do you think Vision is dead or alive?
Okay.
I know
we're
where
gonna
I
come back to
stand.
that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything. Christina Avina says, Grandpa said to you, John, it is secret identities. Did I miss something?
Yeah. Their secret at like Clark Kent, he's got to take a pee. Excuse
Dave,
me, everybody.
Resident fact checker says they were gone for 5 years. Her mother died 2 years into it, so 3 years prior to Monica's returning. Oh, so Monica was
Uh-huh.
gone 5 years, but her mom's been dead 3 years. Now thank you.
We have the best nerds ever.
We do. And I actually had to stop the show early on and go, okay, I need a timeline fix this because there was so much stuff happening. I had to fix the timeline in my
The
head.
Marvel Cinematic Universe is very fragile in terms of like.
Hello,
how
Marissa.
everything's-
Thank you for joining us. And she also agreed. She said the show said her mom died 3 years ago, 2 years after the disappearing, or something like that. See, or something like that. All we know is she's now back, and it's awesome.
Good that we
He
have
doesn't-
Randy's better half on the show right now.
Ooh, he just says the better half, Randy. What?
Randy agrees
Hey.
with me.
So he doesn't know who Rambo is. Who detective? No, not detective. What's her title? General? I don't know. Rambo, the woman who was got thrown out of the land. The one who, the character who came back, who came back after 5 years, and then her mom is dead.
Oh yeah.
You don't know who she is.
No.
I know who she is, but he doesn't want me to spoil it.
No.
So like, it's really hard not to talk about these things with you guys. But I respect Agent. Thank you, Agent Rambo. Thank you, Dave Hoffman, Resident Fact Checker. All right, moving on. I want to tell you guys about my mind blown moment this week. So my mother told me she had not seen Star Wars until she married her husband in 2004.
Wow.
How is that possible?
Now I need to know what movie she saw first.
Mom, what movie did you see first? Are you still watching? See, now you catch them. You see if they just still
Yeah.
come to say hi or if they're still watching.
Also, at 2004, did you know, spoiler alert, that Darth Vader was Luke's father? Or was
Right.
that a surprise to you?
I will tell you, I know my mama loves R2D2 and Yoda. So she's
doesn't?
definitely into the universe now. I
Oh,
just find
man.
it crazy. Like I knew Star Wars since I was tiny, itty bitty.
They've
bitty.
seen Attack of the Clones. They've seen Star Wars Rebels on
Yes.
Disney Plus.
I have not. I don't like the cartoon version stuff.
Good nerds.
So, and Dave is saying, technically, it's not a spoiler. What I was going to say, John just doesn't remember the character from before. No, not only does he not remember, he doesn't. He's completely clueless. So I'm not going to spoil it for him. I'm going to let him. Even though I
Yes.
think you might enjoy it more if you knew who it was.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
Because I mean, we all know, and now I'm enjoying it because I know the tie-in. I'm not going to get into this thing. I'm going to save this for next week, Terry and John's conversation, because we're going way long right now. So let's move on to the fun other stuff to show. I'm going to show John's fun little.
I have the high ground.
Ugh. You're such a nerd, babe. Such a nerd.
How's that for a transition?
I know. I just want to say I was skipping that.
Wait, we're skipping the joke?
No,
Oh.
we're doing so you guys, we have a recommended show for you this week.
Mhm.
Resident Alien on Sci-Fi. I found out about it from the Nerds Over 40 Facebook group. Yes, there is a Nerds Over 40 Facebook group. You should totally join it. It's completely fun. It's all the memes are things that we laugh
Even
at.
if you're not over 40, join it.
No, you got to be over 40. To
The memes
appreciate
are
it.
great.
Anyway, someone had mentioned they watched it, and I never even heard of it. And what's the name of the guy? Because I never say his name right. The lead of the show, Resident Alien. Oh my gosh, Alan Tudyk. How do you say his name?
Alan Tudyk.
Tudyk.
So good.
It's really fun because basically he's an alien who has been hiding out in like somewhere really cold up at the top of the country, somewhere with mountains and snow. And he suddenly has to come into town to be the doctor because he took over the doctor's body. And it's fantastic.
It's so good. Alan Tudyk, first of all, we need to have a discussion about how he is ageless.
Yeah.
If you go back and look at him in the early 2000s, he's, doing iRobot and stuff like that. He looks exactly the same. Like Firefly, exactly the same.
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
what we recommend. So
Resident
here's the thing.
Alien.
Resident Alien.
It's so good.
If you have like a smart TV, just get the Sci-Fi app because I don't think they make you log in. I think they just let you watch through ads. At least this first one, and then the next one isn't until like next week or something, so you have time to catch up. Okay, babe, I got the thing I want this week. You know, how every time I bring you something I want to buy,
Oh.
I think you'll be okay with this one.
Oh, really?
Can you show the photo, Harley, of the Millennium Falcon?
The cake. I saw it.
Can we have that and just sit there and eat the whole
Yeah.
thing and just get fat and be happy in Millennium Falcon cake?
Yeah. I want to start.
Also, how do they make that? That was like incredibly detailed.
Well, if you like shows like the cake show and they show you how they do it,
Right,
they
but
just
then you
build
just-
it in
it-
sections.
I would hate it because you do all this work and then someone just eats it.
It's fantastic.
And then it's just gone. How much
Yeah.
do you think someone paid to get that made?
Probably thousands of dollars. I'm dead serious.
I would say
It'd be great if you start eating it as the Millennium Falcon as it was in the movie Solo, and you just start in the middle and eat the part that comes loose, and then you have the regular Millennium Falcon. Yeah? Yeah.
Where's the button?
Nerd alert!
Okay. Happy meme of the week. Ready? I have a fun one. Harley, show the photo meme one. It says, website. We use cookies to improve performance. Grogu, me, same.
You consume so many Grogu memes, it's ridiculous.
It's
Also,
so good.
the way you read that meme was upsetting.
You want to do it better?
No, it's me. It's supposed to be you, the person
I
who's
know.
looking at the meme. It's not Grogu saying it.
No, it's Grogu and me. Yes. But it's Grogu. Here's the thing.
Nerd alert!
What I have to always keep in mind our podcast listeners, people who cannot see what we're seeing. So it's a little more descriptive than if we're just doing it like you're watching the show. Although our podcast listeners probably still are like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Yep.
But you guys are still listening, and we thank you and we love you.
Except for Morocco.
Good morning, Justine. She says my internet crashed from severe winds. I would say you're a liar, but ours was completely down.
Oh, yeah.
So we believe you.
Well, East Coast was hit hard.
Coop says that cake should be our wedding cake.
Oh. Actually, no. She used to work at the hotel. She's pastry. And she's always popping up her cake creations. Caitlin.
I just cannot get myself to pay lots of money for cake. I'm fine with a funfetti box for $1 and some icing. That's just who I am. And it probably tastes
You
better
got to
to me.
support your local cake growers.
I am going to back up a little bit because I want to say we missed some of our. Good morning, Chris Edgar. He says our animated stuff is great. Thanks. So basically, we have Kate says, "Oh my gosh, it won't work." Okay, Resident Alien is on her watch list. It's Amlin produced, which I did not know. I didn't even notice. She says that she's glad to hear it's good. The trailer looked funny. Maria says, I loved Alan as a pirate in Dodgeball. And Hoffman says, Alan Tudyk is an iconic nerd.
Yes, he is.
For sure. But here's what I really want to talk about. Christina's account says, why do you have on a coat and gloves? And John is sitting there in a t-shirt. That's from Dave.
Okay. Well, we had a little discussion about this earlier. It's 50 degrees.
It's 47 degrees.
It's hotter now, so it's probably around 50. And also, I run hot. They're completely amazed every single time I come out here.
My feet are freezing, and they're in socks and boots.
And my feet are fine, and they're in nothing.
His feet are completely red.
My feet are naked.
And watch after the show, like last time, he'll say, my feet are so cold.
It was colder last week.
Justine says she has my same Jack Skellington mug.
What?
We're freezing a lot.
No, I just established that I'm warm.
That's this one. Nope. We got to label these. Okay, moving on. We're taking up way too much time. I'm not even going to show my Happy Penguins video. Let's just get on to our
the nerd discussion.
You want to do your joke?
Oh yeah. So
nerd joke of the week.
Now it's time for the stupid nerd joke of the day.
What do Jedi use to read PDF files? Adobe One Kenobi.
I don't like sand.
You just got cut off by the producer. Okay, guys, cancel culture.
All right.
Is it good? Is it good for humankind?
First of all, I want to
Does it
shout out
cross the
to
line?
Kate Carson, who helped prompt this discussion because I saw her post. We were going to talk about this, but
We've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
J.K. Rowling, they're coming out with a Harry Potter TV show. Okay, big news. I saw her.
Well, it's not big news. It's actually still they're still looking for writers. People are still pitching ideas. It's not been greenlit.
It's gonna happen. The hype alone around this. Anyway, she brought up a great point about, look, she created this whole big world, but then she also did some things.
Okay, before we get into this,
Yeah, we
because
need
he
to lay
always
the
likes to
groundwork.
jump
Right.
the gun. We are gonna try to invite you guys in this conversation. Is it freezing really bad? What is happening?
our internets.
Are you guys seeing freezing really bad over there from us when you
Yeah,
guys
are
are
we
watching?
jumping? Are we?
Are you on the right internet? Are you on Mystery Magic 5? I don't know. It's been really, really, really hard with internet since the rains and the storms, and
Yeah.
we live in LA, so
Well,
Summer
we-
says no.
Okay, we're getting good feedback from the nerds, so maybe
Okay.
it's a laptop thing.
no freezing on YouTube.
All
David
right.
says great. And Maria did laugh at your joke. Maria's always the one who laughs at your joke.
Thank you. Blood, blood.
Great. Everybody say no freezing. So let's move on.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is we're going to put in a link that you can click from Chrome or Firefox to get in backstage. You can get into the conversation. We can't promise it's going to work, but
This is the first time trying this.
we're going to try. So Harley's going to put the link into both Facebook and YouTube. Do you have that already set up? Just put it in the comments box. It'll go to both of them. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, great.
So it's really easy to type in. It's really easy to copy and paste.
So we're going to talk about cancel
So
culture.
cancel culture, for those who watching who don't know what that means, it's basically because it's really social media driven, because we know so much about everybody's life, personal and
Right.
more than just like their persona.
Yes.
People started to want to cancel people. So
For their actions.
it started as good things, possibly. You know, somebody maybe did something they shouldn't have really bad, and we were like, "You're canceled," and then like they became unpopular. But it's gotten out of control.
Well, let's give it a little example.
Okay.
You go to a taco truck, you find out the owner of the taco truck kills kittens. You're not going to want to eat tacos there anymore.
And you're going to
You-
tell everybody online that he
Right.
kills kittens.
like he kills kittens, don't eat at his taco
and
truck.
then it will become hashtag cancel taco truck.
Exactly.
And
So
it'll get
that's a little example of
shut
cancel
down.
culture. So the varying degrees of what people do along the spectrum of like killing kittens versus anything else. So here we go.
So I really wanted to start with I never know how to say her stupid name. Gina, how do you say her last name?
Carano.
Gina Carano. She came on Mandalorian. That's how everybody kind of became aware of her mostly.
And before we found out anything about her, or before she started talking,
We liked her.
we loved her.
Thought her
Like,
role, she wasn't the greatest actor, but she worked in her role, and she was it was a great role,
Yeah.
strong female role in Mandalorian. And then she opened her mouth. I love how Kate's like, "Oh, I'm in on this conversation." And then she opened her mouth and started to say things that are just like, just things that are just, you can have your opinion.
Yeah.
Like, let's even say she likes a politician that we think is stupid. You can do that if you want. But when you're doing things that are against the health and betterment of other
Right,
people,
right,
like,
right.
like don't wear a mask, blah, blah. It's like, no, people need to wear masks. It's worse than this. I just don't want to get political. That's why I'm being
Right.
hesitant.
Well, I mean, it's cancel culture is highly connected to the political world, but we're gonna try to stay
But
away
my
from
point
that
is, like, now when we even see here, we're like, ugh. And we don't really, and there's been a huge campaign for like sort of cancel Gina. She's been removed. I don't know if on purpose, but she was removed from the artwork that was recently done for the last Mandalorian season.
Well, I think that is a direct result of cancel culture.
She was supposed to have her own show, and now it's like, will she, won't she? Now there's talk of, will she even be asked back? I think she'll continue to be asked back to do her part on Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Her castmates love her. Everybody loves her. I'm sure she's a lovely person who just doesn't say stupid stuff on social media.
At some point, though, when you're at her level, do you just want to sidestep that stuff? I mean,
And just so, this is this is kind of my agreement with you guys about this. So Brian says cancel culture is bullshit, and Jason says I agree with Brian. Cancel culture is the worst part about social media. And McKee says it's gotten ridiculous. I got canceled all the time.
okay, no, I want to address okay. Great points, guys, because a lot of people are fed up with this, but there is a certain thing someone can do, right? Like for instance, the taco truck I brought up. If people that you enjoy watching on TV show or a movie do, what is the level of something they have to do to be canceled?
And the thing is, where it's gotten out of control is that it's become for really stupid things. Like
Like
there's a new
what?
thing with Armie Hammer right now. That's like, he used to talk about, he's got a very freaky side of him that, he might send messages that are very freaky in a sexual nature, that are not normal, quote unquote, of a sexual nature.
But they don't want to cancel him for that. No one's
But
Oh, they
canceling.
do.
They are. That's the thing. And
Well,
it's
who-
like,
Studios?
No, we're not talking about studios canceling. We're talking about cancel culture is about
right.
the American public
I know.
on social media trying to make that happen in a studio.
As a direct result
but
of that
I will
action.
say, in a direct result of that action, he has stepped down, probably by being asked, from the movie he was supposed to be in.
So the studio did have a hand in it because of the public's reaction to it. Really?
Yes, and he didn't do anything. If you're with, like, let's say John is a very let's I don't want to use a sex thing because this is a PG show. Let's say that he's super nerdy, right? And he just says the weirdest, nerdiest things, like, I pretended I lived with a Millennium Falcon today when I was in the bathtub. I don't know, it's really stupid, right? But like
code.
But like, if other people are like, you have to cancel him, he's mentally ill or something, like, no, he was just giving me private messages that I think are funny.
It's not like he did anything.
Right.
I want to know what those messages are now.
But that's their private business. And that's the other part about social media is that people who are coming out and deciding to share things.
Do you know nothing about this?
They were okay with.
No.
Wow.
I'm in the dark about Army Hammer. You have a thing about Tom Cruise here. Is that because of his rant?
That's the other thing. Is like
his rant.
So Tom Cruise had his big rant on he was like really like furiously angry at people who were not wearing their mask on set.
I saw that.
They had the movie had already gotten shut down once because of COVID problems, and now they're back, and he's got a responsibility of millions of dollars on his back, and he's got pissed, which I am totally behind.
I have not seen anything with regard to cancel culture.
There's a lot of people are saying he's out of control. He does it all the time. Blah 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 blah. It's like, I'm not saying, like, I'm using examples that are actually a little more PC because I didn't want to get into politics. That's why I used Tom Cruise, Army Hammer. But let's talk about J.K. Rowling. This is a big one.
Let's say okay,
Sorry.
so we already got no. That's good. I want to know how you feel about the whole situation. So we have here our producer Harley loves Harry Potter. Okay, J.K. Rowling has created a world so many people have loved. Now, I think Kate's point was, has she created something so big and large that anything she does is without repercussion to the world itself?
I don't
like, you'll still love the world.
I think there's a lot of people. For me, I'm still gonna love the world. I am a Hogwarts student. You know what I'm saying? Like, this world belongs to me now. Like Star Wars, that world belongs to us now. Harry Potter belongs to us now. So anything somebody who created it does that may be stupid, it doesn't ruin that world for us. But people are so against her being transphobic that they don't want her involved at all. So, like, I liked The Last Fantastic Beasts. I know Harley's gonna go, ugh, she hated it.
I liked Fantastic Beasts.
You didn't like the second one.
No, I didn't.
I loved the second one. She wrote it. I thought it was the best one, best of all the Harry Potter movies. But do I want her to be writing the new Harry Potter stuff and be involved? I don't know, because I don't want somebody who is not an open-minded. I don't want, like, that's not wizard behavior. That's freaking, like, muggle
Bring
behavior.
in Kate, because
it's ministry behavior.
Well, we're gonna bring our audience in a second, but I wanted us to get through all of these first. Disney Plus, they won't show if you're set up for a kids account, like if you have your kids labeled as kids, they can't see Peter Pan, they can't see Dumbo, they can't see Lady and the Tramp, they can't see Swiss Family Robinson, they can't see Aristocrats.
Peter Pan.
Peter Pan portrays indigenous people in a reductive and stereotypical fashion. Dumbo includes a sequence in which a group of crows perform a song and dance in the style of a racist minstrel show. There's East Asian characters in all the other ones that are not good. So, I mean, and if you watch as an adult, it has a warning that says this contains blah, blah, blah.
In the same way that when we were heard that, Mark Twain books were not being made available in public schools and libraries, I'm going to be against Disney not showing these movies as cultural pieces.
You're going to be against them showing it or not showing it?
Not showing.
You want them to show it?
I want them to show it.
But I do agree, though, that they should put the header that, like, what they do, which is like a warning that this has offensive stuff. I guess you can't really get rid of it. But you have to think, why was it ever okay in that case?
I don't think it should be shown at all.
Really?
Because it's ingraining things in kids' minds that start early.
Okay. I think I can see what she's saying, because to absorb a movie is a lot easier than to absorb a Mark Twain book. I don't know. That's a tricky one.
I think Kate's just audio. So if we want to just just open her mic up, Harley. You don't have to actually bring her in because there's no video. I think her mic is open. Oh, is it? Can we hear her? Kate, are you there?
Clicker. You have to click her.
Oh, I had to add the stream. That's
Yeah.
right.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Wonderful nerdy Kate Carson. I know we just dropped a load of a lot of stuff, but chime in.
Yes. I think there are kind of two separate parts to that. I'm going to start with the recent one, just from my own point of view about, especially with because I saw about the Disney films being taken off the kids content side as well on Disney Plus, because I know that you can have an account for kids. And so when they log into the streaming service, they will have access to only kids content. And so they removed it from that side. And I agree with Harley, because young children are so impressionable that they're not going to look at a warning and be like, I understand that, and now I'm going to watch this movie and understand what that actually means. They're, you know, if they're watching something that has, you know, harsh stereotypes and racial portrayals that are not accurate with the world that we're living in today, and they weren't ever, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to not realize how much that's actually changing their viewpoint of the world and forming their viewpoint of the world. And so I agree with that on the kids' end.
Let me ask you a question. Ideally, you would think that if a kid was going to watch it, the adult would be there to give context to the whole thing, much in the same way that if you're reading a Mark Twain book, you would have context along the way from a teacher or some other source. But it's just not feasible because of the amount of people and the availability of to watch a movie like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times, and that's the comfort of having like a kid's access on some of these streamers, is being like, okay, here's the remote. I'm going to go do something. You can watch whatever you want on this channel while I'm off cleaning the house, let's say. And so I think for the most part, that content is going unsupervised.
Yeah.
But it's still available on the adult channel. So if you did want to watch a classic with your child, you wanted to watch Dumbo or Peter Pan, you could sit there and have a conversation with them about it. It's still available on the other side. I just think that,
unfortunately, I don't think most parents are going to take the time to set up a kids channel. Like, they're just like, it's Disney Plus, it's fine, it's safe.
Yeah. What's wrong with Peter Pan?
That's true.
Extremely offensive.
Indigenous people in a reductive and stereotypical fashion.
Okay.
Extremely offensive.
And also, I mean, I was thinking about Dumbo. I'm like, Dumbo has a scene. You could easily cut that scene out and put that whole movie up. But some of these are just, they're layered throughout. So it's tough.
There's a whole sequence in Peter.
Kate, I want to ask you, before I let you go, what are your thoughts on the J.K. Rowling situation as a filmmaker and somebody who's writes and directs and is in that world?
I think you sort of touched on it. She created this big world and then released it out to the world. And now, and I, when I had posted about this the other day, I'd said, that's no longer hers. Yes, she created it and she has ownership of the original idea, but it has been now adopted into a whole new culture for people. And they have taken that on and they have furthered that idea and opened that world even more. And so I feel that that is no longer just hers, that is ours. And for me, I'm not going to stop liking Harry Potter or that world. It's not, there's this weird idea that if you continue to like something that was put out there, that is in some way supporting the person who said something negative or has terrible viewpoints about something or has done something terrible. And while I can understand that perspective, you know, you look at the Roman Polanskis or the Brett Ratners or, you know, all these other people who have created things. I'm not going to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to buy J.K. Rowling's new book. Like, because I understand I'm not supporting her anymore until she can take a hard look at herself and go, you know, I really hurt a lot of people by saying what I said, right? But Harry Potter doesn't belong to her anymore. So I'm not going to let her ruin that for me when it has become part of me, if that makes sense.
And y'all, Kate is a nerdy Harry Potter fan. She had a Halloween party.
This is the best.
That was so not just themed, like full out, decked out like displays and games and
You were at Hogwarts.
I have an interesting question. People canceled Tom Felton for a while because he didn't go against, like, publicly talk against J.K. Rowling.
that's ridiculous.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
I don't think anybody should be required to publicly talk because John does something that's really stupid and we're behind. No, but I just have to use an example because like, I'm not going to not talk to you or be like,
Right.
I know your heart and I know where you are. So if you're like, if you said something anti something that's just wrong, I'm going to continue to work with you to be like, can we figure this out? Like you've got to see the bigger picture because you're not this horrible, hateful person.
And
So-
he liked a transphobic tweet of hers, but he didn't understand the tweet and he
Yeah.
unliked it. Like he literally actively said, I don't support that.
Well.
Well, it's
Okay,
the
thank
same,
Joy,
you know.
Oh,
Well,
go ahead, one thing.
I think the other, another interesting one recently is Gina Carano, and playing her character Cara Dune for Disney, and the sticky situation is when you have people getting canceled, and then other people not getting canceled when you could put them both in the same bucket, right? So like, even in the political sphere, you have a senator that's resigned for something that seems completely less than than the others.
Definitely.
But Gina Carano, that's another good example. There's people on both sides saying, yes, fire her from Disney and The Mandalorian, and others saying, no, support her. And that's, besides my own personal views, you can't, as a company or as a platform, say, on one hand, this is bad, and you're no longer going to be working here, and then not do it for somebody else. So that's another sticky part of that.
Yeah, a lot going on there.
Thank you, Kate, for
Thanks,
for
Kate.
being with us. Let's go back up so you get some of these nerd comments. People are going crazy up in her. Jason, just because you don't like something you found out about someone doesn't mean you actively campaigned in their career.
Yeah.
But where is the line? I mean, there's the I
There
don't
is.
like this about you, and then there's the you're a freaking hater, idiot, like
Right.
monster, like there's such a line. Maria says people get fired at the hospital if they preach to others or patients about anti-mask or COVID denier conspiracy theories. So wait, you are not allowed to say they're stupid idiots if they don't want to wear masks? Very confused by that. Coop, there's no balance in terms of voice on the topic. Anyone who tries to say anything that goes against the people who want to do the canceling become sexist or bigots or Nazis, etc. No voice. Well, I think if
Well-
you're being labeled sexist or a Nazi, you've probably crossed the line that has earned that.
Yeah, Coop, is there an example of something that does not deserve the ire of, those labels that you talked about? That's a good point.
Jason, I want to remove John from Two Nerds because of his hair. Cancel the curl.
Hey.
You have a nice little curl happening there.
I have a statement. Apparently, J.K. Rowling had supported a business where they had pins and shirts and things that said, like, F your pronouns.
Oh.
So she goes out of her way.
Yeah,
Oh,
to
she's
be
just
that
doubling
person.
down, huh?
And I have to wonder, did something happen to her in her life? Because
Yeah.
she doesn't seem like the type of person with the characters that she's written. I mean,
That's
she
what
was
I
the one who
said.
said
That's what
Dumbledore
I
was
said.
gay.
Yeah.
So now there's like a whole other level. Oh, you could be gay, but you can't be a trans person.
Yeah, and Luna Lovegood is 100% queer. Like, she's 100% not
Wait, I
straight.
thought she and Neville got together.
What does
No.
that say?
Wait.
McKee, we are now in a society where we are all outcasted for not agreeing with one another. If and when I say something doesn't agree with another, then I am scum. No more freedom of speech.
The same point I made with Cooper, though. There's got to be some line drawn. I mean, we can't have people just.
I'm okay. I can take a disagreement. What I can't not take is someone being a hateful person. So if you say something where you are against a race of people or a orientation of people, or I'm not even a religious person, but I don't want to hear you putting all one type of religion into a clump either. Like I'm not going to tolerate it.
Like, if someone's caught saying, "Oh, those people," with regard to Indonesians, that might be something you could walk. Like, maybe you can argue they don't need to be canceled. But if someone says, "I hate Indonesian people. They're dirty, terrible people,"
I think they both should be canceled, but that's just me.
that's too far.
I also think that canceled if they say those people.
But again, I also go back to
Wait,
if you say
whoa,
if you
whoa,
say
whoa,
those
whoa.
people, I also go back to going, let's have a conversation because
Right, but they don't need to be canceled.
Well,
That's too far.
unless they don't want to, unless they go out of their way to keep doing it.
Huh.
Anyway, I don't want to get too political. It's just starting to go there. It was just more about like, I don't know. My opinion, I agree with the guys mostly though, that like, I think cancel culture's got out of control.
Can I say I'm Indonesian before everyone thinks that I actually don't like Indonesian people?
I don't know what this is in regard to, but I'm going to put it up. Summer says, Jen, now I know why I love you so much.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to take that love. Like a hug. Kate says, you can't disparage, incite violence, have speech that supports a hate of a type of people that's not a line to cross and should be called out. And Marissa, final comment, says freedom of speech is not freedom of consequences. FOS means the government won't arrest you for the words you're saying. It doesn't mean people need to support your business if you say awful things. I think that's a great way to wrap it up.
All right.
And don't cancel us. Stay with us. Because we have John's favorite part of the day where he gets to push his little favorite button.
This is the nerd news.
Well, we already talked about the HP series going HBO Max, but here's my question about that nerd news. Is HBO Max the right people to do the series? I feel like Netflix or Amazon would do such a better job.
Yeah. This is part of my nerd news. The HBO Max has already got all of the Game of Thrones shows coming out.
I guess if you look at it like Game of Thrones, okay.
Production-wise,
all I've been looking at is what
everything's gonna
HBO
be
Max has been
solid.
giving us, and it's not been very interesting for me anyway. But Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, I would love that, a darker Harry Potter.
HBO Max is fast becoming, I think, one of the best streaming services because they have these movie releases that are starting to come out now too, and you can only see them on HBO Max.
Lord,
Like,
I don't care about that.
What?
I can
What?
buy them. I don't care. HBO Max is not gonna
woman?
The only reason we're paying for HBO Max right now is because it's cheaper to watch West Wing that way than to buy all of West Wing to watch it. So that's why they've got us right now. But if
tons of good
HBO
stuff coming
Max,
out.
if HBO does do Harry Potter, there better not be one rapey or naked chick in the whole movie. I'm gonna be so mad.
Let's separate
Facts.
Game of Thrones and Harry Potter.
No,
Come on now.
HBO doesn't know how to.
They do.
Yes,
They're
literally had
going
no
to
show without
protect.
boobies.
They're going to protect a franchise.
You don't know that.
Franchise won't let anyone have a naked rapey scene.
Let's lighten this up. Disney Plus is going to come out with the show. It's called The Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Oh my God.
Yes, it does still star Emilio Estevez.
Oh, I'm watching.
And I now know why Lauren Graham left Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist.
She's in it.
Yep.
I love me some
Yep,
Lauren
yep.
Graham.
That's a good one. Any fill-in TV news from you?
Yes. Let's see. The Snyder cut of the Justice League. This is a big thing. I don't know if you've been following it.
I am not a Schneider fan, but go ahead, continue.
Why though?
Because he doesn't know how to do anything with character development. He's just like action, action, cool, action, action.
I think he's a slightly more nuanced
Boring.
Michael Bay.
Michael
but I
Bay's
kind of
more
agree with you.
better than
However,
Snyder.
everyone is saying this cut of the movie before what's his face took it over. Was it Bryan Singer? No, Joss Whedon. So Joss Whedon took over Justice League.
Joe not canceled Joss Whedon.
Well, he's got some
I
stuff
know.
going on.
But I love him. I've heard good stories. I've only heard good
Backtrack
things.
to the whole conversation, start over again. Anyway, the Snyder Cut is coming out on March 18th. Guess where?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. Whoa! Keeping that subscription.
You can watch that by yourself.
Oh, I can't wait.
Any other film and TV?
Yes. No.
No? Okay, good.
But
'cause
I do have other news.
I have gaming news, and
Okay.
I want to. I've been waiting to. John might have already seen this, but
Okay.
every time I wrote this line or looked at this line, it made me giggle. Cyberpunk developers ask players to please stop having sex with Keanu Reeves. Had you heard that?
No.
This is apparently
Why?
this is apparently a problem. Why should they stop having sex?
Yeah. It's Keanu Reeves.
Well,
Come
actually,
on.
their reasoning
This
is
is their one chance to get Keanu
They-
Reeves. Go for it.
they actually allow mods. You can mod anything you want, right? But they don't allow anything that's sort of violent or vulgar or against an actual person.
Right.
And Keanu Reeves is a real person, so they keep making him like this sex worker or something. But I also will say I'm now very curious to play Cyberpunk.
Oh, yeah. Surprise. Did not see that coming. But hey, I'm down. Let's see it. I got some nerd news. This one comes via Christy Lee on Facebook.
Gaming.
Oh no, you got some more? Go ahead.
Yeah. So, can you put up the Borderlands photo?
Oh, love Borderlands.
Do you? I don't know much about it, but Kevin Hart has been signed on to play Roland.
Borderlands is great.
But Kevin Hart, is it a comedy? Is Borderlands going to be a comedy? What do you know about this character? And
It's a great kind of an RPG in that you get experience and you can upgrade all yourself and your guns. Tons of guns. It's so cool. Like there's
Guns.
guns. Cornholio, I would actually try to do that right now if I didn't have the headset on. But yeah, it's great characters. I didn't play 3. I have to go back and check that out. But yeah, it's a great addition. It'll be fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's gonna be multiplayer. Borderlands 3 was, so we should try that out.
This is kind of gaming news, but kind of nerd news. So I'm just gonna tell you anyway in this category. Japanese government is considering charging cosplayers licensing fees. So like Japan's Inako made over $90,000 a month from appearances, endorsements, etc. And her creators don't even get a cut of that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If you're
At first, I was like, "Screw you, government," and then I went, "Oh."
I mean,
like if I made a character and now you're making $1 million a year.
yeah, that's yeah.
But
I guess
am I
you got
really? But if am I super rich because of everybody's love of the character? Maybe I shouldn't care. Maybe I
yeah.
should be like.
I think if you're super rich, shouldn't care. But oh man, that's
there's
a
also
fine
talk
line.
about they could charge for any cosplayers. I don't know how you would pull that off.
Well, if you're not making money as a cosplayer, you don't have to worry about your cease and desist or whatever. But if you're making close to 6 figures off of your cosplay, off a brand, okay. Interesting. So I have some news.
Oh, really quick, just with
Yeah.
Borderlands. Jason says Borderlands has always been super comedy centric. See,
Yeah.
that's a piece of the information you left out when you were telling me about Borderlands. Thank you, Jason Smith.
I mean,
knew that.
it's so desolate. Comedy really wasn't on the forefront of
And
my
also,
mind.
Jason Smith says the Keanu thing is a mod of the game, meaning only PC gets to do Keanu sexy time.
All right, we'll just get a PC. So guess what? You know what the Necronomicon is?
I said before we get to some good news, I have in Why God Why news.
So we got the same news. In Egypt, in a sarcophagus, they found some scrolls of the dead, which describe how to get to the underworld.
It says it's
Ooh.
chapter 17 of the Book of the Dead, the manuscript that ancient Egyptians employed as an instructional manual to navigate the realms in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And all I thought was,
Is this
no,
real?
Is
Yeah,
this real?
it's totally real. You know what I thought was funny?
Why?
They
Close
described
it up.
They described what they
No.
found in the tomb. So they found sarcophagi, they found the Book of the Dead, and then they found a table game.
What?
Yeah, they found a game.
That's
Who knows what they're doing down there with the
basically it
dead
was like
bodies?
A super nerd.
Eh,
They found a super nerd.
you know what? If you're in a mortuary, they gotta have a clue out on the table every now and then.
Harley,
Who
can you
knows?
show rock number 1 photo? The rock, you see it? It looks like a rock.
Oh, okay, look at that. What are we looking at?
Okay, now show number 2. That's the inside of the rock.
Shut up.
Show number 3.
You lie. That is. Ow!
Someone found a Cookie Monster
That
rock.
is doctored.
It's
It's
not.
either doctored or someone made those holes.
That's what was found in
No.
science.
No.
And it's amazing.
I refuse to believe that because it's
I
amazing.
only want to believe it. I'll be so sad if I
To the
find out it's not true.
podcasters, there was a quartz crystal cut in half rock, and there are 2 eyeballs and a mouth that look like Cookie Monster, and it's amazing.
Amazing. And finally, some good news. So those of you that are like Justine, who are stuck in snow and traffic jams because of snow and it's really crappy weather, this time it wasn't so bad. Apparently, there was a pop-up clinic who was doing vaccines. They had to close down early because of the snowstorm. They all get stuck in traffic. They have 6 vials of this serum left, and it's going to basically die. Like they're going to have to throw it away. So they go and start knocking on doors of the people in the traffic jam or windows, and most people laugh at them and think they're crazy. But one guy like throws his shirt off immediately and takes it. Another woman was trying to get to the pop-up, but she couldn't because of the traffic. So 6 random people got this.
That's awesome.
And they're going to get their little postcard in the mail so they can get their second dose on time.
We're going to end on a happy note, so I'm not going to tell you about the story that is the exact opposite of that story.
We're supposed to end on some good news,
Okay,
so
all right.
you've already failed.
I'll ignore it.
and
But I
fun.
do have some other news. There was an NPR story that said D&D has played a critical role in our lives during the pandemic.
I
there
get
were-
it. Ba-dum-bum.
Yes, but there is actually a critical role. It's a group of people that started doing online gaming, Dungeons and Dragons. They've grown it so that they have now over 288 million views on YouTube.
Wow. Just
Like
watching people
sponsorship.
play D&D,
Yeah,
that seems
This
so
small
boring.
group of people.
What's funny is Chris Edgar is always trying to get us to do some kind of, he wants to do it, or he's asked if we would do it.
I
Like,
mean,
he
we
wants to-
talked about it ad nauseum
like,
on the show.
Yeah, like a D&D streaming thing. I'm like, that's just not interesting to watch. Guess I'm
Well,
wrong.
you're wrong. What does Jason's lovely wife, Kimberly Smith, have to say?
She says, stop it. Like, this is about the Book of the
that's
Dead.
it, yeah.
Like 2020 wasn't crazy enough. 2021 is like, hold my beer. Let's summon the dead. Justine says she saw the vaccine on the roads. Wow. And Kimberly, it's so fun for the D&D. Do it. Critical Role is the best all voice actors. Well, that probably helps. Thank you, Levi. That's an actually important tip to know.
Yeah.
They're voice actors. So they're not just boring, like, I don't know, go do this thing, blah, blah.
They're full of
boring.
action. Voice acting.
He's been doing his voice demo reel.
Hey, did you guys like the
and he's
1984?
constantly finding voices. It's kind of hilarious. Okay, let's let them get on with their Saturday.
Thanks, nerds, for showing up.
Yeah, we'll just say, let the non-dead be with you.
Yeah. Love you, nerds.
You've been listening to Two Nerds in a Garage podcast. If you're having fun nerding out with us, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review, as it really helps others find the show, which helps us. We're also on all of your other favorite podcast apps, as well as on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
This show is supported by our listeners just like you. Please visit twonerdsinAgarage.com to find all the ways you can help keep supporting us, including our merch shop and direct donations through PayPal. Thank you again for being on this hero's journey with us.